Hi everybody, it's Candace from Antigua. Hope everybody's well. So as for our discussion this week, what constitutes scientific knowledge versus pseudoscience? So I'll be the first to say that I had to go do some research on this. I've heard about it, but I've really never put the two together. And it was really interesting. There was an article posted in Philosophy of Science, and they actually paired up the two, which clarified for me what the difference is and why there is a defined line between the pseudoscience and the scientific knowledge. So and it actually would run into the second question, which was, what's my opinion based upon the interaction between the science and culture? So what I gathered from my research was the scientific knowledge, which we are learning now for this semester, is based upon the collection of facts that is through a particular scientific method. These facts are going to be tested. It's structured, it's rigorously tested, and it's reviewed and supported or approved by the scientific community based upon their guidelines. While in the pseudosciences, actually, I had to go and use an example for me to really grasp this, was based upon what I can interpret, which I enjoy, is meditation, feng shui. And these are all Eastern, actually, practices of culture. And so I guess it's a phenomenon that is a belief pattern by large groups of culture. Now, how does this impact the sciences? Is that these things are not measurable. However, it's interesting that when we learn more about ADHD and attention, the cognitive abilities and stuff, how these sciences are actually coming into play to affect change. Now, we can't test it because it's in the brains and everything, but it is highly, I guess, will be a variable that affects the outcome in the scientific knowledge. Which goes into the third question of what criteria would you use to accept something to be a scientific fact? Okay, I'm not a scientist, so based upon that, I went to look up the criteria. And of course, we also are dealing with it right now, so I'm not going to go through it, but we all know just from citing it, scientific facts are the phenomena that it's consistent, it's useful, it's empirically testable, falsifiable based upon controlled and repeated experiments. It's correctable, and the dynamic, progressive, and tentative. So with all these impact of the scientific fact, what I got out from it is an example is that what it tries to do is to really suspend one's biases and beliefs of culture. They just want to know a fact. And as I'm sitting here watching the ocean as I read this, I mean, that's a fact. The fact is that you can look and you can test this over and over, is that when the wave breaks onto the ocean, it backwashes, it brings sand, and so there is a pattern. You can see it, you can test it over and over again. It's scientific. While if I sit here and I sit here and meditate, that I will get better grades. I just use this as an example. Oh, sorry, that fell. Anyway, so to wrap it all up, it's the difference in between the scientific knowledge and the pseudo, and how culture interacts is basically, one is testing a group of defined phenomena using facts, and the other one is based upon cultural beliefs and patterns. And from Antigua, you guys have a great one. Look forward for feedback.